Being the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in the Solar System, Mars shares many similarities with Earth. Its radius is approximately half that of Earth, and its surface area is only slightly smaller than the total surface area of Earth. Mars also has a characteristic structure of a thick metal core, and its days and seasons are relatively similar to those on Earth. However, the biggest difference between these two planets is the presence of life. Earth is home to nearly 10 billion people, while the number of living organisms on Mars is around 0, at least according to what we know from scientists. The Viking 1 spacecraft once discovered organic molecules on Mars, leading to the belief that an ocean once existed on the planet. This raises the question of whether humans have ever appeared on this planet. Humans have been exploring the mysteries of Mars from ancient times to the present day. One of the most astounding stories comes from a boy who claimed to be from Mars. Unlike any normal child, the way Boriska was born was a strange event. Boriska amazed his mother, Nadezhda, with her description of the process. Nadezhda's childbirth was normal and fast. However, as a pediatrician, she felt something unusual from the first glance of the boy. He looked at me with the eyes of an adult. A newborn baby cannot concentrate his gaze like that, but my son observes everything. From the moment Boriska was born with a pair of big brown eyes. The boy grew up in the small city of Volsky in the Volgograd region of Russia. Boriska rarely cried and was almost never sick. He started speaking when he was only 8 months old and could play puzzles with extremely high accuracy. At the age of 2, Boriska began to paint. His first painting was not the scribbles of a toddler just learning to walk. It was an abstract painting of mixed blue and purple colors. When this painting was taken to psychologists for interpretation, they were amazed to find that it was a painting of the aura of those around him. At the age of 3, Boris began to talk about the universe. He recited all the planets in the solar system and their satellites. Boriska's parents thought he was just nervous, but the truth was apparent in the astronomy books. And so the 3-year-old boy Boris became a little astronomer. Boris talked about ancient human races up to 3 meters tall and told stories about the future. Boris' uniqueness gradually attracted the attention of scientists. Professor Vladislav Lugovenko of the Russian Academy of Sciences discovered that Boris' brain had an isolated memory, retaining information and experiences from the universe. He concluded that Boris was an extraordinary child with a rare DNA twist that gives them an incredibly strong immune system. Boris will change our civilization. When questions about life on Mars still have no answers, 9-year-old Boris began to have stories about that civilization. The boy claimed that life existed on Mars. According to Boris, the Martian civilization had developed to an astonishing level. They once created an energy packaging technology to design large explosions on barren planets, turning them into a second sun. But before this achievement was reached, war broke out, and a nuclear disaster destroyed this planet, turning it into a desolate place. Survivors after that disaster moved underground and breathed CO2 to survive. According to Boris' description, the Martians were 2 meters tall, stopped aging at the age of 35, and became immortal. Their scientific technology was advanced enough that Martians could travel between stars. Shocking information was even revealed by Boris to Russian scientists. The Martians once tried to communicate secretly with the ancient Egyptians on Earth. They left a secret related to human life inside the great statue of the Sphinx in Egypt. Boriska revealed that human life will change when the Sphinx is opened. But how to decipher that secret? Boriska doesn't really remember. Boriska's story once shook the scientific community. His mother once brought the story of Mars that he told to ask historians and UFO experts. Many of them were convinced by these stories because they believed that scientific terms and jargon could not be uttered by a 9-year-old boy. Although what the Russian child prodigy recounted is unverifiable. In scientific research, you will somewhat discover details in the above story that are gradually clarified. In August 2012, NASA launched the Mars exploration spacecraft named Curiosity, which landed near the mouth of a volcano on the planet. The purpose of the probe was to determine whether there is microbial life on the surface of the red planet or not. Later, John Brandenburg, a former NASA scientist, claimed that Mars once had a civilization. But it was destroyed under a nuclear attack. However, traces and evidence of this attack still exist on Mars. Research samples from the Curiosity rover discovered that the planet's atmosphere contained 2.5 times the concentration of Xenon-129 that humans measured from nuclear bomb tests on Earth. Not stopping there, studies from the materials sent back by the rover showed that the surface of Mars is covered by a thin layer of radioactive material, including uranium, radioactive potassium, and thorium. These layers appear from nuclear hotspots on Mars, and only nuclear detonations can scatter these fragments throughout the planet. The strongest nuclear hotspots are located in the northern hemisphere on the surface of Mars. According to Brandenburg, a nuclear bomb equivalent in size to the Empire State Building in New York was detonated on Mars. With the nuclear hotspots found, it is possible that it was an attack from an alien invader about 3 million years ago. In 2016, a group of U.S. alien scientists and explorers, USAS, released images taken from NASA's survey equipment. In this video, strange shapes engraved on the surface of Mars resemble a vault of circular rings covering an area, suggesting that the structures of the city once existed on the planet and they are the traces of life and civilization that once existed there. In addition, the Curiosity rover also captured an image of a rock that is very similar in shape to the Anunnaki god and the beliefs of the Sumerians. As you may know, Sumer was one of the earliest civilizations of mankind, living in the region of Iraq more than 7,000 years ago. In the mythology of the Sumerians, there is an ancient creature called Anunnaki, whom they regarded as gods who were sent down to guide humans towards civilization. Coincidentally, the Sumerian depictions are very similar to the images captured by the Curiosity rover. Furthermore, in ancient civilizations, they often named Mars after war, similar to how the Greeks named Mars after the god of war, Ares. The Babylonians named their god of war Nergal, which means star of death, alluding to Mars. It can be seen in many civilizations from the east to the west that Mars and war are closely related. Did ancient people witness a war and an invasion from Martians to Earth, and then regarded them as gods who came down from the sky to help humans? Did ancient people see what we are still exploring today? Was Boriska the boy who always claimed that he was a Martian in his past life once a deity worshipped by ancient people? Today's video will end here. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you have any questions, please comment below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support me. Goodbye and see you again.